Hey there, welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the Two-Stroke Turbo channel. My name's Mark. This is my shop dog Stella. You've seen her in many videos, and today will be no different. What are we doing? We're working on something different. We got we're waiting in queue for the injection pump on the Diesel Rabbit there. Stella is waiting for her scratch on the back. She likes that. She wants to go chase a rabbit, which is funny because there's a rabbit right there in the shop. I just made a joke, Stella. We are working on a 1958 or 57, I forget, cabriolet sliding window BMW Isetta. This car has been in my shop a couple times, and I've done a few videos on it, trying to sort it out for the gentleman, and had it running good, and then it quit. Couldn't start it or something, and he messed with it a lot. In other words, took the carburetor apart, took the points apart, tried to figure out what was going on with it. I think we're going to do a compression test here and just make sure that it's got good compression. Stella, you got your head right in the viewfinder. So this is our project for today, is to see if we can get this thing running. It's a pretty cool old car. The fan is off. You can see here on the motor. It's a 1-cylinder, 4-stroke, 13 horsepower, detuned BMW bike engine is what they call it. So I think the bike makes 20 horsepower at a higher RPM, and this makes 13 and has more torque, which is more suitable for a car. So we've got a little Bing carburetor here. We've got an exhaust on the outside of the cylinder head there. Our fan typically spins right in this direction and blows cool air up and over the shroud and across the cylinder head and out the side. And Stella is being very persistent about being petted. Why? So let's get the seat flipped forward, access to the spark plug hole, see if it's got compression, see if it turns over, see what's going on, see if we can fix this guy. First thing I'm going to do is see if it actually cranks over. Even before I check the compression, yeah, we've got a red light, that's good. Make sure it's in neutral. I believe it is. Yep, it is. Let's see what happens here. Certainly feels like it's got compression. I can feel the ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. So I want to check that just to make sure we're not chasing our tail first. So let's get the seat pulled back, the covers off, and spark plug. Okay, so we're removing the access panel there from behind the seat, and now we have a really good look at our spark plug. Let's get that off. Make sure everything looks okay there. We're going to get our tools and get the plug out and get a compression tester in there. Oh, my knees are not young like they used to be. Okay, so I got the spark plug out of the Isetta. It looks pretty normal, a little rich but not wet, not too concerning. I do have the compression tester hooked up and we're ready to fire, except the battery's a little weak. I'm looking for 100 pounds of compression, and I don't know if I'm going to get that on this battery. So let's see what happens here. Let me turn the, oh, how am I going to do this? Turn the ignition on, get this set here just right, like that. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, I've got 90. It should run at 90, so I'm happy with that. So our problem is not with the compression. We've got spark or fuel issue. So that leads me to get in here and start looking at the points and looking at other things. And I see metal shavings in there. See all those metal shavings? Brass shavings. Oh, okay. Crank on this anymore. I should probably check the oil. Too bad. Okay, got plenty of oil. Yeah, that's nice. Oil is right up to here. And you can see we got fuel. This is a gravity feed system. Sometimes these are a little fickle. I think we got an issue with the points or the coil or something. Maybe the condenser. Although he said he replaced all that stuff. We're going to check it out. We got compression. We got enough to start. Okay, so we're working on the points here of our Isetta, and if you look right here, that's where our points are. When I move the crankshaft and move it back, I'm contacting and opening the points and I'm getting a little bit of spark. Let's see if we can see it here. I don't know if I can get light on that or not, but I'm showing a little bit of spark. Let's see if we see that. See the spark there? Okay, so that means we got spark. So I'm going to take the top off the carburetor here and see if our float is floating. I'm going to plug this back into the spark plug that I've already got into the cylinder head, which is a little hotter spark plug, a clean one. But I think we got spark. We just got to work on fuel. Okay, so I'm pulling the top off of our fuel bowl and I'm looking down in there. We got no fuel. So I'm going to turn the fuel on in the tank. Back here it says on, off, reserve. That's on, and this should fill up. Yep, it's filling up. See the fuel pouring in, and the float is starting to float. So now if I push on this, oh, too much. It should start. You can see the fuel level has gone down in the filter area, and it has gone up here. We have a fuel. I wonder if the gravity feed is not working. Well, it should fire. Let's see if we can start it up. It's out of gear. There we go. Fired right up. I don't understand what the problem was. It seems fine. Huh. Let's rev it up a little bit. It works good. Well, that was easier than I thought. I wonder what's going on. There's got to be something else going on. He said he fought with it for weeks. Okay, our float is floating a little too high. That might be the problem. It looks like it has come off the stem of the thing. I'm going to work on that. That might be the problem. Maybe it was flooding over. Yeah, I think I got it figured out. I think I know the problem. So the float has this little clip right here. Whoops. My screwdriver's touching. And that clip pinches the rod of the needle, and one of the solders has broken on the top right there. So the float is floating too high, and it's flooding the engine, and it's causing grief. That's why the spark plug was sooty, and I'm sure it drove the customer crazy. So I'm going to pull the needle seat and the float out, resolder that, and put it back together. I got to shuffle cars around here a little bit, get this up on the lift so my back isn't screaming, and we'll continue on. Okay, Stella, my super dog, my shop mascot, has been very needy today. I don't know why she's always in the way, but we are working on our Isetta. We got it up on the lift here, and I want to show you guys a few things. This is the needle that goes in the bottom of the carburetor like this, and the float floats on that needle. You can see there's a, I don't know if you can see that or not, focus. There's a cut or a crevice in the needle there. That's where the float is supposed to latch onto. And if you look closely, my phone will focus here. Doesn't seem to want to focus. This little guy is broken. If I can move this. This one is, yeah. The solder has broken on this float. So I'm going to resolder this so that the clip clips into that groove on the needle and it floats. What's happening is the float is floating all the way to the top in the chamber, and it's overflowing, and it's causing a flooding condition, and that's the guy's problem. So pretty simple fix, but took a little sleuthing to get there. So we're going to solder that, put everything back together, and I bet you it's going to be just fine. Okay, so I took my soldering iron and I soldered my float back. Hopefully I didn't make it heavier than it needs to be, but I wanted it to be solid. Stella, what do you think? Pat your bottom? You're a good doggy. You want to help me put that float back in? Yeah. Okay, so we got our float soldered up. It's stuck onto the needle pin like it should be, and it's clipped into the groove as it should be. You can see it's much lower than it was. It was floating above. Let's turn the fuel on. Turn the fuel on here. don't think we need choke. Let's see if it'll start right up. Yep, kind of as I thought. So BMW, I said, the engines are supposed to dance. In other words, they're supposed to wiggle like that. Otherwise, if the motor mounts are too stiff, you feel it in the car. They are one cylinder, one lung, and it looks like we're doing good. The fuel level is full, or the filter is full, and we're not overflowing. And the engine is idling as it should. The float's not coming up to the top. That's awesome. I think we fixed this guy's problem. It wasn't what he thought. Let's give her a few more revs here. Good. Let's turn the fuel off. Otherwise it's going to overflow all over the place. And then we can turn the ignition off. Bingo! Bango! Bongo! Now it's fixed. Just going to put the fan back on, put it all back together, and ship it out. Nice. Okay, so the car's all fixed now. Just gonna take it for a drive. Let's find my dog and give her a little pet. She's hiding amongst this covered car here. Let's take a look, see if it, oh, there she is. Stella, you want to say hi to your fans? You're comfortable in there. Can you give us a little look? Hey, what's this? Good girl.